When we chose our spouse, we chose a partner to go with on our life journey. But we chose a fallible individual, most likely someone lacking the discipline or training to be married. Someone who's just like you. But you saw something in that person, a kindred spirit with personality traits and abilities that you found appealing, even aspirational. And the physical attraction, well, that sealed the deal. Most go into marriage thinking of what they hope to gain, and not what they must sacrifice to get it. Happily ever after is not waiting for you at the altar. Hollywood lied to you. A great marriage is less about your spouse and more about the person that you become in the process. You're not trapped in a bad marriage, you're trapped in your thinking. The path to success depends on how well we handle the relationships that we develop along the way. It starts with the people closest to you. It starts with your spouse. Your spouse is like a mirror, reflecting the consequences of your character. You see, your reputation is how others perceive you, but your character is how you perceive yourself. It's what you do when no one else is watching, except your spouse. If you want to see real change in your marriage, submit to the process of character development. It's at this point that people usually say, I'm not the one who needs to improve. My spouse has to do better. And you don't know about the lies, the broken promises, and the neglect I had to endure. I understand. No one wants to come home every day to a loveless marriage. But I'm not asking you to take the blame for your spouse's actions. I'm saying to take responsibility for how you respond. Will you turn into a bitter, resentful, depressed individual, or will you see this as an opportunity for growth? The mark of a great athlete is one who carries his team when they are performing poorly. The athlete doesn't point fingers, but steps up, and in doing so, the athlete increases not just his value, but the team as well. Adopt the attitude that you don't win unless the marriage wins, regardless of how poorly your spouse is performing right now. When are you going to stop struggling in a bad marriage and start striving for a great one? So what changes should you expect to see in yourself through the process of being married? Here are 4 from my own personal experience. First, marriage matured me in a way to manage my expectations and understand what emotions are driving my decisions in any given moment. This is not to suggest we ignore or suppress our feelings, but the hardest part of maintaining any relationship is managing your own emotions. Second, marriage made me more stable in all areas of my life. This is where the phrase settling down comes from. My wife and I had to align our priorities with each other and not indulge every whim or pursuit that interested us. We developed routine patterns of living to raise a family. I know the predictability can be boring sometimes, and you should often introduce some spontaneity to keep things interesting. But routine is required for stability, and stability is required for growth. If you're not growing together, then you're growing apart. Third, marriage worked on my patience. Patience precedes discernment. Am I upset because my spouse did something wrong or something I just didn't like? Why did it upset me in the first place? By first examining my emotional state and what triggered it, I'm able to respond in a way that reconciles us instead of retaliating out of my hurt feelings. If you want to be more understanding, selfless, kind, and at peace in your marriage, you absolutely must develop patience. And marriage will give you plenty of opportunities to do that. Fourth, marriage has made me more resilient, both spiritually and emotionally. Our catchphrase is, love awakens when passion meets maturity. That is because passion without maturity doesn't last. It diminishes with every adversity and disappointment until all that is left is the consequences of the decisions that we didn't think all the way through. But on the other extreme, maturity without passion is boring. You may be the most loving and considerate spouse, but without passion, it just feels like going through the motions. Who wants to live like that? The spontaneity, energy, and drive of passion, combined with the stability, discipline, and emotional intelligence of maturity, makes a marriage more resilient and enjoyable in the face of life's challenges. Fifth, marriage has humbled me. There's nothing more humbling than laying down your life in selfless sacrifice for another. Oh, sure, we might be able to do it in brief moments on occasion, mainly out of guilt or the need for recognition, but marriage is a daily practice of putting aside your ego, your desire for self-gratification above all else, and to do what is best, not for you, not for your spouse, but for the marriage. This is not simple. It's counterculture. It goes against your feelings and very often seems unreasonable. But imagine just for a second if everyone in the world at least strived to live this way. How many social problems would that solve in our communities, in our nations? Well, it all starts with the relationship between a husband and his wife. Your processes will be different from mine depending on who you chose to marry, who you are as a person, and what your goals are as a couple. Stop lamenting over failed expectations and delayed outcomes. Patience with the process produces peak performance in your marriage. Make that your focus. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of the next episode in our series on taking your marriage seriously. Let us know in the comments, what is a process that your marriage is taking you through?